Hey guys, how's it going? I'm the new guy over here on the MMS channel, and I just wanted to introduce myself to y'all real quick. I'm Niles, I'm a touring guitarist, I'm a songwriter, producer, I also do photography, I'm a cat guy, I can't live without coffee, and I'm a big anime fan. And now that we have introductions out of the way, I'm going to show you guys how to process super low tune guitars, just like the ones you heard at the beginning of this video. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're in Logic and I have the session open from the riff that you heard earlier, and now I'm going to show you how I process super low tune guitars. Alright, so you can see that I have all of my rhythm guitar tracks right here. I have mains left and right, and I have doubles left and right as well. The mains are panned all the way left and all the way right. The doubles are panned -50 and 50, and that is to increase the stereo width, the stereo image of the guitars in the mix. First and foremost, I'm going to play the guitars soloed out without my chain on them, and then I'm going to play them with my chain, just so you can hear the difference really quick. And then later on, I will show you how it all sounds in the mix with and without as well. So here is without my processing. All right, and then here is with my processing. And you can hear that it sounds like it has a lot more presence, it's more focused, a little bit more glued together and everything as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and walk you through my signal chain. So first and foremost, we have EQ. I have Fab Filters Pro Q4 going on. I have a cut going up to 80, one going down to 8,000. And then you can see I have cut out a good amount of my mid, like lower mid and upper mid frequencies and stuff. That's, to me, especially with very down-tuned guitars, where I get a lot of like hissy, nasty, like resonant frequencies that are just taking up a lot of the mix, muddying it up, just sounding gross. So I do quite a bit of cutting there just to kind of do some cleanup and get the guitars sounding a lot brighter, a lot more focused. With those cuts, I also have boost around 500 because there's some good note definition there. I don't have it doing too much, just 2 dB. I think 2 dB on this one as well, around 15. Then you can see that I have the stereo placement set to the sides to also increase the stereo image of the guitars to help out with that. Then you can see I have some notches here, which is just whistle frequencies, just really harsh like frequencies in there, tones that just sound nasty and gross, and we got to get rid of them. I have that going on around 23, 34, 43, and 55. And generally, a lot of those like whistle frequencies that just take up those like spots in the mix that sound nasty kind of live in those general areas, at least to me in a lot of my recordings. And then I guess I will go ahead and I will play the guitars without the EQ and then with the EQ so you can hear the difference that it's making. So here is without first. And then again without. And with. You can hear it does sound like it's darkening up the tone and everything a bit, but we're going to fix that with more of the chain as we go. So moving on, we have my compressor. I am using Slate's Distressor emulation, their FG Stress. I have it in between 6 and 5 for my input. I have the attack set to around 8, like a slower attack, just to let the transients kind of get through. The release is around 4, and then output is around 6 at a 4-to-1 ratio and mixes at 100. And this is gonna just kind of like tighten up the guitars and glue them together a little bit. It's kind of subtle, but you'll be able to notice it doing its thing just a little bit. So again, I'm gonna play without and then with. Here's without. And yeah, again, it's kind of subtle. It doesn't sound like it's doing a lot, but it is kind of gluing the guitars together just a little bit, just enough to make them sound tighter. And moving on, we have our multiband saturation. I'm using FabFilter's Saturn 2. You could also use something like JST Heat that also does multiband saturation. I like to do it because it does help like give the guitars more weight, warmth, and kind of helps to glue them together, like the mains and the doubles as well as in the mix. Now, I don't have a lot going down on like the sub frequencies, like the lower frequencies down here, um, just because I don't want it to like muddy it up. But the lower mids, I do have a little bit more going on. It's at around like 37%, just to give a little bit more oomph, weight, and warmth there. And then I have it doing a lot more at 56% here in the upper mids, just to give it some more presence, give it some more attack. And then I also have it around the same for the 8K and on frequencies, just to give it a lot more presence and bite. And then again, I will play the guitars without the plugin engaged and then with the plugin engaged. Then also a note, I'm using the warm tapes. God, I can't talk today. Using the warm tape setting on all of them. Anyways, here's the guitars bypassed. And yeah, you can really hear that the multiband saturation that Saturn's doing a lot of heavy lifting in there. It's really adding a lot of warmth, presence, and glue to the guitars. It's probably one of the biggest tools in my toolbox for processing guitars. Moving on from Saturn, I have Smooth Operator Pro from Baby Audio, and that's just going to be doing a little bit more like resonance cleanup, some of those like harsh frequencies, especially with using the multiband saturation. I am kind of like bringing up some of those resonances again. And then, yeah, you can see that I am doing like around 300, a little bit before 1K, so probably like 700, yeah, 700, 800-ish, and then notching out some more around the 3 and 4K, almost 4K frequencies over here. And then again, I'm going to play the guitars without Smooth Operator, and I'll engage the plugin. All right, and the last thing in my signal chain is going to be the SSL 4K E strip. I have it at 8K here, doing a 3 dB bump, just to give it some more bite and presence. And then it looks like I have a negative dB cut here around 2K, bringing down, like cutting out some more of that nasty, harsh resonance. Always battling that harsh resonance, especially in these low tunings. And then it looks like I have some other compression going on as well. A 2-to-1 ratio, fast attack, 0.20 on the release here. Then my threshold is around -3. And it's just barely going to be hitting 3 down here, just doing a little bit extra gluing and tightening up on the guitars. Now again, I'm going to play the guitars without the EQ engaged, then I will engage it so you guys can hear the difference. Here we go. Cool, yeah, so you can hear that that's making it a lot more focused and more like up front and glued together. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the full mix. I'm going to play it with the signal chain bypassed, and then I'm going to play it with the signal chain engaged, so you can really see how much work it's doing to glue the guitars in there and make them fit in the mix. Here it is bypassed. then here is the mix with the signal chain on. All right, and now I'll play the mix and I'll toggle the signal chain on and off throughout the mix so you can really hear the difference that it's making. I'm going to start with it off and then I'll engage. Yeah, you can really hear how that signal chain is tightening up, cleaning up, and gluing those guitars into the mix so that they work very cohesively with all the other elements in there. And with that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I can't wait to get to know you all more, and I hope you guys found this helpful. And as always, like and subscribe for more tips and tricks in the future. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.